Right.
Good morning. We're here.
Sort of. Almost.
All right. It is our first Bella Box Seasons of Gifting stitch along, and this is going to be a fun one. We're going to do two projects.
We are.
The trees and they're right
Yep.
over there.
Should we just swap
I
that?
think so. And then we're going to do the charm. So we decided to do the little sewing machine charm for ours, and because we can, I used our favorite 9 square button and duplicated the tree and the sewing machine. So in our hoop today, we're going to be doing 2 of each. So we'll each get ours done while we're here. And they're pretty quick stitch out, so it shouldn't take too much time. I have the charm in this
I
morning.
don't know if we can handle 5 minutes stitch
Stitch
out.
out time for 2, right?
Oh,
All right.
oh.
So we have our instructions, and of course, the instructions do not have the like the stitch out guide for
For the other.
the one that I chose, but
Right.
it does have the instructions on like how to finish your charm. So we're gonna basically be doing the same thing, just like the birdie mini hoop. So that is on page 12 of your instructions. So I am hard to hear. I don't believe anybody else would say that. So hopefully, let's see. Maybe my microphone is not on. Let's try.
We had
Okay. Hopefully that's better. I
Hopefully.
adjusted the volume a little bit. So we're going to do sewing machines.
We're going to do our sewing machines for our little charm that we're going to stitch out
Yes.
with you together. We're going to both do that. We have a 5x7 hoop. You won't need a 5x7 hoop unless you're going to do more than one charm.
Exactly.
We could fit more than just the 2 sewing machines in here, but so that we're not here all day with you guys. Not that we wouldn't love to be here all day with you guys, but somebody else here might not be super happy with that.
Right.
Actually, multiple people might not be super happy
Yeah,
if we
I'm
just sat
sorry.
here
We're
and
just
stitched all day.
going to stitch
We're
gifts.
just going to sew.
Yeah.
But what do we have in here?
We have Badge Master and actually Laboo Wash Away.
All right.
So sew and wash. Yes. That
Great.
is our
That's
fearless
what-
leader being super loud.
Hopefully you can't hear that. So we've got Wash Away and Badge Master doubled up. Badge Master is on top. So
Yes.
it does call for Wash Away. We added, it doesn't call for Badge Master.
Right.
But anytime that we use Wash Away, for the most part, we're going to add that in.
Yeah, I like to have both layers in there. And since we doubled it, I figured, what the heck?
What the heck? All right. So
Ready?
let's jump in.
All right, let's hit the start button.
What are you looking for?
Just moving the instructions
Oh,
over.
I was like, what?
Nope.
You went like this. I was like, what?
Yeah.
We lose some
I was
already?
just trying not to grab other things because it's a hot mess over here of cords, and I didn't want to. I didn't want anything to.
My cookies.
You
the other
you
day,
did.
but
I just
the cookies were there.
I didn't want anything to come flying down at us.
No.
So the instructions have you essentially
No fusible on those.
it doesn't say.
Surprisingly,
I know, right?
I would have thought that had
Probably because
Stop.
it would be hard to get into the little hoop the thicker it is.
Maybe.
So it's basically just plain
Just a piece of
fabric.
Oh, that makes me nervous.
And there's nothing
make you
on
nervous?
it. But that's why I added the extra layer of stabilizer. And I did starch them really well.
Okay.
So we have, and you can use whatever you want. I did have some scraps of white, which is what I decided that I wanted mine to be on. But I think the actual color of the birdie fabric,
It's that coconut cream.
it's a little coconut cream. So it's a little bit creamier. Obviously, you can
I'm going to go with the coconut cream so you
whatever
guys can see what
you
that looks like.
want.
And she's got hers on white, so you
Yes.
can see what that's going to look like. So
That's the only difference.
That's what's happening here.
Yep.
So first thing that we're going to do, are we threaded? Yes,
We are.
We
it
are.
says starch and press the fabric well. So we did that.
we did that. We've got wash away in our hoop.
Yes.
We did that. We loaded our designs.
We
We
did
did that. We just need to know where to put our fabric. So
Yes.
we're going to tap that, and it's just going to do that little hexagon in the hoop that tells us where to place our 2 pieces of fabric.
Yep.
We're making bells.
Yeah, we didn't get our Christmas one last year done because we decided we were going to wait until after the sewing expo, and then we just completely ran out of time. And this year
And
we were
then
like,
we're going to just do it
we're
because
just doing it.
otherwise it's not going to happen. We already know this, that it just won't happen unless we
Exactly.
just put it on the books.
Yep.
So, here we go. Doesn't matter. Make sure your polka dots are up.
Are they up? Yep, think so.
God. So hard to tell.
Yep.
All right. And then we're going to just tack that down.
Yeah, you could definitely put a piece of tape on here. And of course, the instructions recommend that you do so. You know, we like to pants here. So no tape for us.
Nope.
Unless absolutely.
Even on the slippery stuff, because they're sliding all over the place, but it's good.
And then the thing about doing this one is that this is unusual, right? Right after it does the tack down, you are not going to trim around it.
Right. You want to leave that fabric there so
right.
it can pull if it needs to pull.
And then you'll have some extra so that you can actually put it into the cute little keychain hoops.
Yeah, you need something to grip to put into the hoop. You need something for the hoop to hold when you're pinching it into the front and the back together. Kind of like when we're doing an embroidery, putting something in an embroidery hoop. It's the same concept. This is just going to be really small, and we'll have already embroidered.
All right, and there is some little stitching detail at the bottom. Do we want a color?
I think we definitely want a color.
All right, what color do we want?
So how about like tealy blue?
Teal blue works.
What do you think?
Yeah. So scrolling down at the bottom, this year Kimberbell did a thread kit. And their thread kit was about $60. If you didn't want to buy the thread kit and spend $60, Lisa and I put together a thread kit for you. So bottom row, scrolling down at the bottom, are the colors that we added. And we also added a coupon code for you. So the coupon code will bring the threads down to about...
It's 59 cents off each is what the coupon will pull off.
Yep.
So it depending upon whether you choose Exquisite or Floriani, which there's both numbers in there. So we didn't choose that for you this time.
Yep.
You can mix and match. So what we're going to be using is actually half and half.
Kind of a combination.
We've got 5 Floriani and we've got 5 Exquisite that we're going to pull from. So you can see what we've got going on here and you can kind of make your decision. And we're going to use these through all of our projects.
Yep.
And then
if we add anything, we'll add it in.
We'll add, if we go, oh, we really think that it needs this as well or something, we'll throw that number into that coupon code as well. We did it this way so that you don't have to buy 10 if you don't need 10. So maybe you just need 1 or 2. You can buy 1 or 2, still use the coupon code and get that 59 cents off per spool.
Yep.
So if it's Exquisite, they are normally $3.59. That brings it down to only $3 a spool. If you buy the Florianis, those are normally $4.59. That brings those down to $4 a spool. So again, super great price points. Even if you went all Floriani and you got all 10,
it's only $40.
It's $40 versus the $60. So we're trying to help that be a little bit more economical for you. And again, you may not need all 10 colors.
No.
So hopefully this will work
or
out
if you're
for all
trying
of
to
you.
build your thread stash,
You can go this route. So.
There's a couple of threads
No
you can
judgment.
add.
We don't care where you're going to use the thread.
Yes.
So however you would like.
So the color that I'm putting in here is ES443. So it's kind of an aqua teal color.
Yep, the darker of the tealy colors in the kit. So this one is an Exquisite. Of course. I'm a trash collector.
Oh, maybe you want to set these over next to you?
I can do that.
There's not any space on my table over here. Okay, so we're going to do that little grid down at the bottom. These are super quick. They're going to stitch out. And we're doing 2, and it's only about a 5-minute stitch out. So nice, quick. We don't have anything special in our bobbin thread.
Nope.
Just regular old bobbin thread. And we are kind of obsessed with the new 3-wound bobbins that we like. So that's what we have in there. They go a lot further.
And you know, sometimes I get nervous when we're doing a running stitch, but this is beautiful. We're working good. So this is just kind of like the table that our sewing machine is sitting on. So we decided that
It should be.
If we were only going to get one of these little guys done, which is a possibility, at least for
Right.
the time being,
Yeah.
we can always get back to it. We wanted a sewing machine, not a robin.
Yeah.
So that's why we switched up the design today. So, but the concepts are going to be exactly the same. So once we have that, our next thing is going to be...
I think it's going to be the spool color. Yep. The color of the thread.
Is that the spool or is that the little flower thing?
No, I think the flower is pink down there. So the spool
Okay.
is next.
All right.
What do we want our spool to be the same color as our table, or do we want it to be a different color?
Well, I don't care. Well, what do you think? We could go lighter, still in the same family. Let's just leave it the same.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Let's just leave it
lighter
the same.
one.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see the light too much. So let's just go with this. This is going to be the spool of thread.
Yes.
We think. It's nice that they give you the color stops so that you have the choice to change if you want.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you have to, but
yeah, I think that'll be cute. Oh, it only does the whole collection? Oh, yeah.
oh. Well, that's not done.
Unless you duplicate those colors, right? Yes. Okay. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it then.
All right. Did you get
No,
a
thank
thread
you.
kit for the Bella box or exquisite numbers for it? So Sharon, that's a
Great
question.
question.
So Sharon's question was about the threads. So scrolling through the bottom are our version of the thread colors. So we did match them to the as close as we could
glide
get
colors.
to the actual Kimberbell thread colors. And then we kind of looked at the fabrics that were in the kit. So you have those choices. There's not a really super easy way to get to all of the threads. You kind of have to just type in the number. We're trying to find a better way that it will work.
We're trying to be able to pull them out of our long list, and it's not pulling
It hasn't.
well.
Yeah, it's been a little bit more troublesome.
Shopify's being a brat this week.
It is. Okay, so now we're going to do the sewing machine and the top of the little spool thread. So you can use whatever color you want. We're using black.
Yep. So there is, when you go through those numbers, if you go, okay, there's not 20 because, 10 of one, and there's 19.
Yes.
Because there was one color we totally didn't like the match for in, I think it was actually Exquisite.
Yeah.
So there's only a Floriani color for one of them. So just, if you're like, okay, what did I do wrong? You didn't.
Yep.
So yeah, if you look right along there, it'll keep scrolling. So if you miss one, don't panic. It'll come back around. And you can write that down. The coupon code is at the very beginning, and you can, again, buy one. You can buy all 19 if you're, again, trying to just build your thread collection. You want to take advantage of the coupon code, go for it. But these are color matched to the best of our ability using the thread brands that we have to the Glide collection that Kimberbell put out. However, if you purchase these, of course, it'll be a little less expensive.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons. One, it's less expensive.
Exactly.
And two, you don't have to buy all 10 if you don't need all 10.
You can buy
just buy the
whatever
ones that you need.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is super cute.
Yeah. So hi, Carol. We are going to stitch the trees. This was a 2-project video, and we started with the little charms. So instead of doing the little birdie charm, we decided to do the sewing machine charms. And this is just a really quick stitch. So we're actually halfway through it already. And the next thing that we're going to do is the trees. So you didn't miss anything.
You didn't.
We just started with this one first. Because we could.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Next is going to be the knob on the.
Yep.
What color do we want our knob to be? Of course, they have pink. I know you're not a fan of pink. Want to do white? Or do we want to add a?
You know what? Let's do this one.
Oh yeah, because that'll look nice up against the.
It'll
black.
look good against that. It
Yeah.
won't be white,
Right.
but it's not going to be super crazy pop out color. That's
Exactly. The creamer looks really nice too. It's not. It doesn't look as creamy in there.
no. In my thought, I mean the white will look good too, but it'll blend in with the hoop colors, so it'll kind of whatever. I don't know.
Good thought.
Blech. This is a really cute stitch
It is.
and fast. I like fast.
Yeah.
I like that whole I got something done feeling.
Yeah, I was just thinking like these little sewing machines and they oh so delightful in their little hoops. Wouldn't it be cute to substitute some of these little charms inside the little mini hoops that they did? That would be really cute.
Absolutely. All right, I have a huge tail up there that I need to get rid of because it's going to be in the way.
All right, so I'm going to thread with the green. I was just using plain old black. I didn't give you a number for that. We didn't include that one in there because we figured you already had black. So this one is a PF 219. So this one's a Floriani. It's a really pretty shade.
It is, and it matches one of the fabrics like perfectly, which we'll be needing in a future project. It looks absolutely beautiful with it. So there we go. That's a little better. Not sure at what point that decided to choke me, but definitely was choking.
And then we need to go back to
that teal, right?
Yep. The last. That's a little thread.
Thread, swirly.
Yep.
Very darling. So once we have, I'm gonna I was just going to say, I was going to read ahead in the instructions once we have this stitched because that's only going to be like another minute.
Yep. They have you basically trim on that line. I didn't bring our little
the little hoops over.
I'll grab them.
So once all of your detail stitching is completed, we're just going to pop that out of the hoop. We're going to trim close to that tack down stitch line and then wash away the stabilizer that's in there because like we said, we are using wash away. And then we're going to lay that flat. You're going to have, and there's the singing. So then we have, you want to match up the hoop, the correct hoop. And in case you haven't looked or haven't received yours yet, we've got the screwdriver is included. So you have the screwdriver and then you have the screws and you actually get all of the different shapes. I wasn't sure that that was going to happen based on the picture that they put up. That one? I think so. Oh, is there another size? Is that that's the only one, isn't it?
I think it's the same size.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Yeah, you tape the corners onto the back.
Yep, you wrap it around.
Wrap it around, yep.
So we're just going to go ahead and pop that guy out of there.
Okay. And I'll give you our things. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the other design.
Do you want to show what I'm doing?
Oh, yeah. Let me.
These are a little bit of overkill, but I really like these scissors.
They're super cute, yeah.
All right. we're going to put my glasses on too, just so, you know, that little bit of clear. Oh, look at that. All right, so we're going to basically be trimming right at those lines. I'm going to just on the outside so that I don't actually clip the quilting stitches at the bottom, because I don't want them to fall out. That would not be fun. We don't want that, right?
Here's the little screwdriver too.
So just going right on that line. If I had my little havels, those would be my next, those would be a little bit more size appropriate for this trimming process. So there's one.
So I have the tree file loaded over here, and I'm just gonna stitch out the first placement line, which is gonna tell us where to start placing our stuff. And then when we're at that point, we'll switch over and show you.
So there is the white and there is the cream. So you guys can see there's not a huge variance in, of course, the white's a little bit brighter, but they both look really, really cute. And there we've got that. We're going to then, can I read?
Yeah, oh yeah,
what
here,
I'm
take that.
supposed to
Go ahead.
do?
Yep.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. All right, we're going to start with one hoop. And inside the bags, you've got a back hoop piece, you've got a front push in basically piece there. And then you have the little screws in there. Make sure that your screws don't go flying. That's going to keep all of that together. So what we're going to do is the front insert piece is smaller than your back cover. So we want to work with that front piece. That's the one that we're going to actually do. So we're going to, you can see very easily, you know, where your stitches are at on the back. And that is going to match up with your, you're going to center that on. So you want to make sure that you have an even amount of everything all the way around. All right. So center your design and then fold all of those pieces in. Keep those in place. And then we're going to fold in each of the sides. Once we have all 5 sides, that's not 5, you know, all 5, all 5 sides in.
We can count if we try really
I
hard,
totally
right?
can count, guys, really. We're going to, again, put a piece of tape so that it stays kind of where we put it anyways. I am going to over tape and then trim that down. I think that's going to be easier than trying to get a really small piece in position. So get that down. And then I'm going to fold that back and then fold in my other side. you know, side 4 and 5. And tape that down. So once I have all of that, I'm just going to get rid of my excess tape.
You in a good mood today? You look like you're in a good mood today.
Hey.
Oh,
Pieces of bread. 2 whole pieces of bread.
good. That means you're feeling better.
That looks like a B shape.
Yeah. Go away. All right. So there we have our design wrapped around. And we are then going to place that in the hoop, maybe.
I think I'm gonna zoom in just a little. Can you?
I can do that. I'm just not sure what I'm doing, so
That's
you
good.
don't want to have them see what I'm doing if I'm doing it wrong, right?
Right.
All right. Set the mini hoop frame right side down.
Now you're too zoomed in. There you go. Yep. Spread it open a little bit, right?
And get that around your project. Oh, that's tight. Okay. That's the whole point though, right?
I think so. Right. And you know, we didn't rinse our stabilizer out
Right.
either, so we have a
Nope.
little extra bulk in
There's a
there.
little more bulk in there than there would normally be. All right.
It's cute though.
And there is that guy going there. So once you have that, you're then going to put your bolt through, which I still have mine in here. So we've got the bolt, and we have the these are tiny. Whoa. Okay. I thought I lost it, but I didn't. Trying to lose them. Really trying to lose them.
Okay. All right.
All right. So then you'll just take and put your bolt through, and
You got like a nut or a washer on the
we've
other
got
end.
the washer. You're going to squeeze, and with that, you're going to tighten that bolt down.
And you got the fancy screwdriver to do it with, right?
Well, I feel like that's too big. No, it's tiny.
Yeah, it's
nope,
tiny.
It's the right one. It is the right one. I actually don't want, because I want to rinse that before
Yeah.
I get mine all tightened in. But once you have that, you'll just tighten that together. Once that is tightened in position, then you're going to take your back. Let me just put these back in here before I lose them. All right, so we're going to pretend that this is tightened down. We're going to take our back and we're going to dab some glue and then cover the back with the back of the hoop piece. And that is the completed charm.
So cute.
Just like that.
Yep. And you got a bunch of different shapes.
You do. You have different shapes, and you have a bunch of different designs using all of those bonus pieces.
Right.
So there is how that works. All righty.
Okay.
Anybody have anything with that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So far, no questions about that.
So yeah, the screwdriver here is actually included
In your kit?
In the kit. So don't panic that you have to find something
Right.
for that. You do have what you need to complete that. All right. So we're going to move to the next one now.
Yep. And we're doing just like the standard tree. There's two tree. There's a standard one and then there's a bonus one. So all I did was I put the 2 layers of wash away in the stabilizer in the hoop. And then I stitched out the outline. So if we probably have to back out a little bit now.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
I just was looking to see what we were doing.
We're adding the felt.
All right.
So I did stitch this in blue because I figured it was going to be a little bit glary and I was hoping it didn't really help. I thought maybe they'd be able to see it a little bit better. I guess you maybe can kind of see it.
We're just seeing those.
There, kind of, yes. So the thing that they probably want to note is that the felt and the batting, they look very similar. So you should have 2 pieces of felt and 1 piece of batting. So they do look similar to each other.
So we're doing 2 trees. So I have 4 pieces of felt and
Yep.
2 pieces of batting. You can tell the difference, but they are definitely very similar.
Yeah, easy for
All
you
right.
to get
So we
confused.
are working the front
Yep.
first. So we're going to completely cover up those.
And then we probably need to pick a color.
Think I like the darker. What do you think?
Dark green?
What do you like?
Yes, you've got the threads.
I do. You want that one probably?
Yeah, let's do that one. So we're going to do PF 2016. And this is going to be, I think does this end up being like the cut line or close to the cut line?
That is the placement, check down, do not trim. Yeah, probably.
Okay. I think they have
We're on number
gold.
2.
Right.
Tack down trim line. Yes.
Okay. Are we good with green?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that, oh, it says we should do white.
Do you want me to change to white?
Nope. We'll
No?
just pull out any threads that we
Okay.
need to pull out. It's fine. It's either showing, not going to show, or green. So for everything else, so we're just going to stick with that until we get to the gold star on the top. Let's just try to make sure that but we're good.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a loop.
Little loop. Yeah.
There's a little looper do. There we go. Let's rock and roll. We're going to tag these down.
This was the order that I picked. You can change your order if you want. Okay.
So again, this is going to end up being your trim line. So oh, you want to switch?
I'm having a hard time processing what I'm supposed to be doing today.
So this is, we're not trimming right now, but at the end of the project, this line here will be where we're trimming the excess off. So just for clarification, in the instructions, they do recommend a white here. This will help you guys see what we're doing, and it's also where we're going to cut. So if we have any little fuzz balls, we can just peel those off. It's not the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination. Base tack down trim line.
Do we have to put the
Now
felt
we're
on?
going to add the batting.
Back. The batting?
Yep. I was just like, we were supposed to put that on the back of it, but nope, nope.
But the
nope.
batting goes on the back, right?
Completely covering that line.
No? Okay. Oh, maybe we're just going to build it from the top and there's nothing going on the back.
Yep.
Okay.
At least not yet.
You have the...
I know, I'm just reading, so
Okay.
I'm
So I
trying
need to do the batting
we have
line, right?
one. So this,
I need to stitch this placement line, right?
what number are we on?
Number 5.
Take down. Place the project batting completely covering. Yes, we're doing that. Yeah. I'm having a hard time knowing what I'm doing too.
I'm not. Penny is asking if the Bella box is sold out. Honestly, I'm not sure.
I know at one point they said that it was, but I feel like
they opened up some
they
spaces.
might have opened up some. But...
Right. You would have to click, if you click the link from in the original post to this, it should take you right to the Bella box spot. And
I think even if it is, you could get on the wait list.
yeah.
So if they have sold out again or whatever the... you can get on the list, and it is not uncommon for them to get more. So, um, so again, your batting is going to have a little bit of,
It's a tad bit thinner and it's a little creamier.
yes,
But
it's got a little bit more color to it than the,
and it's a little smaller than the
Yep.
other pieces.
yep. But it is very, very similar. So we're going to completely cover up that line and then tack the batting in place. And then we're going to start stitching. I got to trim, of course,
You start at the bottom or the top?
bottom.
Okay.
How
many are there? 1, 2, 3.
6, and then the gold star. And so I'm going to trim, and then it's going to give us a map.
Okay.
This does go on the very back after everything
Okay.
to cover up all of the backing.
Here's, and I don't know if we need to,
You want this for anything?
no, I don't, I didn't pick that order. Does that matter to you? Their fabric order?
No.
Okay.
How many whites do we have?
I put 2 in there.
Okay.
I kind of did them every other.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. It's gonna go right on the mantle, you know. All right, we're gonna remove the excess batting. We are not touching, excuse me, the felt. Leave that alone. We're just going to trim away. And you do want to get right up on that stitch line because your fabrics are going to basically be right on those lines. So you don't want to have a big fuzz ball of stuff coming out. So try to get as close as you can.
But don't trim through the
But don't cut the felt.
felt.
Now you can very clearly see which one is the batting and which the color here anyway. I don't know if you can see that as well through the camera lens, but don't have a lot of room here. Sorry, I might be off the camera.
Yeah, actually pretty good.
Okay. Very long thread tail here.
And we did 2 in our hoop, so that we could both get one done.
In case you guys are wondering, we have both purchased a Bella box.
Yes.
So we're not trying to get 2 projects out of one box. Just in case anybody's at home thinking, hey, I can't figure out how to do that.
Yep.
These are 2 separate box kits. We're just stitching them together. All right. So this next guy here is going to basically show us where,
Just broke the needle.
I see that. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm like, what? That screws popped up. That's why. I'm like, why won't it go anywhere? It was probably time to change
Change
that
the
needle
needle
anyway.
You got a trash can over there, right?
I do.
All right, let me see if I can find
Dump.
us a needle. Here we go.
Bad.
was like, oh, I heard that.
Yeah, that screw on the back of that hoop was popped up and
There it went.
clipped it good. All right. So, sorry about that. What we're going to do here is, did I bump that too?
No, I don't think so. I was having a hard time
Gotcha.
getting it.
It's going to stitch a map basically of where all of our different pieces are going to go. This is kind of a paper piecing, folded fabric, whatever you want to call it, in the hoop project. So this is just, I don't know. I don't think they call it a map. I've always called it a map.
Yeah.
Do we need my little iron? Or I see
I don't know. Is your iron here?
right behind you on that table there. We have a towel there.
Oh, you want the little pressing board? There, it's right behind you. That
I see it.
little one.
Okay.
I think we can probably make room.
Yeah.
Let me.
I think all we need.
Oh my gosh, are you okay?
Yep. Just hit my knee.
Oh,
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna just talk my way through it. Oh, that's smart. Woo!
starting off the new year with a bang, right?
Wowzer. All right, so we are setting up our little mini iron over here because there is a piece of embroidery glitter. Yeah, we have gathered a lot of stuff over here, have we not?
We have. We probably need to take care of that at some point today.
And keep the girls out of the hoops way. So we are going to need to press that into place.
So I think when Tony pulled that machine out of there, we moved the table. So I think that's why everything was like, I couldn't get anything.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
I don't feel like anything's
in the right
spot.
space. So I can move this back a little bit. It'll probably affect the camera a bit, but we can move that. There we go. Is that a little better? We
Yeah,
can.
That's better.
'Cause I'm
like-
like, why?
I have like no
room.
room right over here. Something's not right.
I know.
Okay, so we now can see all of the different sections that are happening. So we have literally a pile of all of our fabrics. So when you are working with this, what you want to remember is your first piece is always going to be pretty side up. And then each subsequent piece is going to be pretty side down, and you will fold it up.
Yes.
So our first piece is a solid. And the nice thing about solids is there's no wrong side.
There's no longer right
So,
side yet.
we don't have to really worry about getting that wrong. So I know people that will use batiks for this kind of thing, so they don't screw that up as
yeah.
same concept. So again, you want that first piece to be pretty side up, and then we're going to tack that down. A smack.
Oh, it just barely caught over there, but
Oh.
it did catch.
It'll be fine. It's
It's
gonna
just in a weird.
it's gonna go that way
Yeah.
anyway. So I already covered up that first piece.
Right?
All right, so if you hear us going, what the heck? The corner over here didn't, even though we covered our first section up very clearly, the actual tack down there, it's just above our piece on both sides, which is okay because of the way that the next step works. But just in case you guys are like, what are they whispering about?
Yeah. We're like, wow.
What's
that was
going
in a weird
on?
spot.
So how does this step work? I am going to remove the fabric from I can probably do it right there.
Okay.
We're going to remove the fabric from the top of that line. twice. All right. And then you're going to take piece number 2. And remember what I said, everything else goes upside down. So there's my pretty side. We're going to put that upside down, and we're going to use that line literally as our guide. And so we're going to take each piece, it's pretty, and put it right at that line. So I'm going to hold that up so you guys can see. We don't want it to be over the line, and we don't want it to be under the line. We literally put the edge of our fabric right there. So that is your cut and placement line. So it's the cut for the first piece, and it's the placement for the next piece of fabric. And so that is how you do these guys here.
And now it's going to do the seam line,
which is going to be about a 1/4 inch below that first, which is why it doesn't really matter that it didn't catch, because it's not going to stitch right on top of it.
that,
It's going to stitch below it. So we'll be okay, is the moral of that story. All right, do we want fabric folding pen?
Sure.
Oh,
Is that important? Do I need to go get it?
nope.
Okay.
It was out of that thread box thingy that
Okay.
we were gonna, that thing we were gonna hijack.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we can still hijack. Think there's starch in here?
Do you want to do this on the big camera?
Sure.
Okay.
At least the first time. It's in there, but good. And just as a reminder to myself and everybody else, that iron is now hot. Okay, so once over here, so we've got our piece there. If you have the mini iron, you can certainly go that route. So I'm going to probably grab, and we can do that. If you don't have a mini iron, so here's my mini iron, we can show that route as well. We can also use the fabric folding pen and a roller. So fabric folding pens basically have a tip, and there's a screw here. They come with a little bottle of concentrated starch. You put a little bit of that in there and then fill the rest with water, give it a little shake, and then you get your seam that you are working with wet with that solution. Fold that over and roll, and without needing the mini iron or a little mat that you can then press over here, you have the ability to have basically pressed seams inside of your hoop. I just keep shifting things around. That one we might want. The other option is, of course, there is the option of just skipping all of this, but then you don't have very pretty folded seams. So I don't recommend that option.
Right.
But an additional option is actually using a mini iron directly in the hoop. So you can see that we get a nice crisp seam with both.
Mm-hmm.
Either way works. It's a really nice option. And I definitely do recommend doing one or the other when you're using this type of technique in the hoop.
Yeah. So just, we're going to do the next placement or trim and placement 9. We have water soluble stabilizer in the hoop, but we have plenty of stuff that is between that. So make sure that you don't like drip it, or you don't touch your iron to your water soluble, because it definitely will make a nice mess of that. So if you're using this in a project that has water soluble in there, just be mindful of that.
Absolutely. Same thing with your starch pen. It will melt.
Yes.
Your so be careful with the iron or with the water.
Don't drip your
don't
water.
Drip your water where
your
you
starch.
don't want it to be either. So I'm now going to again remove the excess from above that stitch line, and then we'll place our next piece. So I just grab hold of that and remove. You can see right at that line. And then we're going to take, and again, you want to make sure that this is pretty side down. And you're going to use that as your line. You want to try to balance your pieces here. So we cut all our pieces the same size so we could mix and match them. They don't have to all go in the same, you know, if we grab the wrong piece, it doesn't matter. In the instructions, it does give you different size
Yeah, they grade
options.
down in sizes.
So what you don't want to do is have all of your excess going off one side, because when you go to fold, then your folded up pieces don't always go with the angles.
Yep.
So to prevent angle issues, you always want to balance the excess. So center your piece on the line. So here's my stitch line. I want to have the same approximate. You don't get a measuring tool out. I'm not talking about that, but eyeball that and get an approximate amount of balance on each side. And that way, when you fold that up, you are ensured to have the fabric you need to cover that next area. Be a little more careful when I'm putting that in. See how many needles I can take out in one
Yeah.
project? A little fuzz.
Mhm.
It's like, did you see it shifting as it was just like, oh. All right, so we're going to fold these up and then move on to our next stitch. So again, if you have that access to the iron, that's probably the fastest route. Okay. And at the end of this line, we're actually going to be using an iron-on glitter. So here is the next trimming and placement line.
I think this might be either the stabilizer holder and she doesn't realize it. Yep.
That was my first thought, but I can't quite see.
I thought it was a
machines and
golf bag at first. And then she said 3, so I think it might be the stabilizer over the door.
I mean, I wouldn't put
stabilizer.
it past of the ship here, but I don't think he needs 3 of them.
Yeah. Unless he's planning on us embroidering on them for him.
That wouldn't be the first time he asked me to embroider on something for him. So I'm just going to trim off above that line. I used to try to figure out a way to use all of these scraps because they're big enough that I feel like I'm wasting fabric. But guess what? Not worth it. In case anybody's wondering. Anybody wondering?
No.
Nah, I know you're not.
Too small for me.
But you know, when you get like that triangle piece
I know.
or something like that, it's like
I think when you're when I first started quilting, I was like, oh my God, I have so many scraps. I got to save all these pieces. Now that I've been quilting for like a decade, I'm like, I will
that's
never.
not big enough.
Well,
Oh,
and
nope,
I'll
nope.
never go back to it because it's not the right size or
the
whatever.
color to match whatever.
Right. Or trust me, I have plenty more scraps that are so like I'll save like I have scrap bins. And so if if I don't have a lot of that color, then I'll save that. But if
Right.
I have like a drawer full of greens, yeah, I'm not going to save that one because I probably won't ever need that for an applique or anything later on. But I used to scrape. But then I feel like the scrap pile overtakes the fabric pile. It's just as big.
It gets very obnoxious. You know, from an embroidery standpoint, we do use small pieces of fabric.
Mhm.
But again, it's got to be the right color.
Right.
So it's very hard to find the right color
Mm-hmm.
in your scrap bin.
Right.
Trust me, I've tried. So again, we're just going to fold those up and press. And then we're going to stitch that next line. So this is just a rinse and repeat process here until we get up to the top.
Don't really rinse.
Don't rinse. No. Okay, I'm sorry.
Someone-
Don't do that. Do not actually put water in this project.
Someone's gonna give us a YouTube message and say you told me to rinse.
Yeah, do not actually rinse. That's just an expression. You are not wrong though. Somebody's going to hear that and be like, "But you said." Somebody did ask me about that once. What do you mean by rinse and repeat? I'm
Yeah.
like, you know the expression? That's what I meant.
They did not get it yet.
No. So again, I'm just going to trim and then place that next piece.
Maybe it's a location thing. Is that like something we say here in Michigan? and Maybe
Maybe.
they don't say that other places.
All right, we are getting there to the top. That only a couple pieces left. Going to one more time. Well, two more times.
Got it.
Yeah. Line that up again, trim, and then use that line as the place to put the edge of the fabric.
Not the good kind.
Not anything good, no.
Yeah, the weather has been crazy.
This clamp on this hip that's like a claw it's going around both sides, and it's like, that won't go away either. All right, I'm going to press this one up, and then we're going to just come back to the hoop and stitch the next
Quick
line.
draw McGraw over here.
I know. It happens all the time. You know, you don't have to actually hit OK on that, because when you flip the thing back down, it'll go away. Ask me how I know.
Oh, you put it upside down. You must have put it right side up.
Oh, well, that one's
Okay.
fine.
No one will know, except for all of you.
Whatever. Really worried about it.
They're cute little trees, aren't they?
They are. All right, one more trim and placement and fold, and then we move on to the,
Probably the star, right?
I think we have to do like the outline and get
And
rid of
then-
all of the excess, and then we'll do the stars. Scissors. Get rid of all of that.
And if you cut your fabric pieces per the instructions, yours won't be quite as
You
wide.
won't have as much excess fabric as we do.
I was cutting them, and Lisa and I don't always follow the same instructions in putting our fabrics in the right place. And we were not doing the same thing at the same time. So I decided I would just make them all the same size.
And not only that, she was trying to be kind of not making my selections for me.
Yeah,
Obviously, I cared a whole lot.
they're cute. I mean, I really don't think that you could put these in the wrong
No.
way. It's cute. I know we had someone in yesterday who said this was her favorite project. So you have the little blocks.
The little blocks.
So she went and bought a bunch of the blocks because she was going to make a whole bunch of these. I think these would be adorable. Like,
Oh
as a
yeah,
little,
little village thing.
Right.
Yep.
exactly. Or like if you were having family over, you could like embellish and put their name on it, and it could be like their little
place setting.
Or you
Oh, you
could
mean you
put,
can use these for lots of
yeah,
little...
you could put 2023 or
Absolutely.
or don't.
Absolutely.
That way you can
You
use
could
them
reuse
year-
them.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
So
the
I'm
problem
gonna
with dates, right?
press this up and then come right back here. and it's going to give us the outside trim line to remove all of the excess folded fabric. Just looks like a muted version. Oh, sorry about the camera bump. Oh, they didn't see it anyways. Other camera. All right, so it's going to now do the outline all the way around.
Yep. It's broken already. Oh, now we have a binder here. It'd be more broken.
My shirt's creeping up on me again. It must be the shirt. And however it,
Or maybe the
jacket grabbing it,
Yeah.
maybe.
The nerve of that. Did you see that? I just tried to creep right
It
in
did
there.
try to ruin the project right there.
He says like, no.
I'm on top of that. I feel a little bit like Christina Applegate in Adventures in Babysitting. I'm on top of that roof. So many things on my plate right now. I'm like, I'm on top of that roof. How about you?
Yeah.
I just love that movie.
It's a cute movie. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I do like Christina Applegate.
Oh no,
She's-
that's not it. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. That's the one I'm thinking
Oh,
of.
yeah. That makes sense.
That's the one I'm thinking of. But yeah, she where'd she go? And then she came back. She like disappeared for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I am going to trim, I think. I don't see why I can't trim. The quilting's not going to make a difference, right?
I don't think so.
We're
Is that
going to
what it
leave the
tells you?
same, I don't know. I
It's-
stopped reading the instructions.
Oh, it's a little. Now it's starting with.
But it's going to do the quilters.
the red-
so
oh, the
we
quilting
could
stitch.
wait to trim.
Oh yeah, maybe we should do that.
Let's just wait to trim.
Okay.
We'll,
Do you want that to be? Do you want it to be all green? Do you want to change colors? They've got red.
I'm good with
Just
one color,
green?
but
Okay, let's do it.
whatever. What do you want?
I'm fine.
Okay.
So this is the point where you could start changing some of your colors if you wanted different colors on your Christmas tree. We're gonna go with
We're just
green.
going to keep them simple. So there's a little quilting stitch through each layer. I think. Almost each layer.
yeah,
Every other layer.
every other layer.
Every other layer. Again, you can change thread colors here if you would like to. We're just going to stick with this same green.
It says it on it.
It does.
Carol's question is about the threads. So these are the threads. So Kimberbell gave a thread recommendation. They had a thread kit that you could purchase. The colors that Kimberbell uses are made from Glide. So what we chose were threads that were as close to the Glide, the actual Kimberbell colors, but we decided that we would use the threads that we have in the shop here. So we picked from Exquisite and Floriani, and we wanted to offer everybody 2 options and a coupon code so that if you did want to get some threads, you didn't have to spend $60 on the Kimberbell thread kit. You could buy whatever colors you might need. So the colors that are scrolling along the bottom are the Floriani and Exquisite choices that we picked that worked with the fabrics from the kit. And we're giving you about 59 cents off of each spool if you use that coupon code when you purchase those particular colors. So that makes them $3 or $4 if you pick the Floriani. Of course, if you have tons of threads, you can definitely use colors from your arsenal. We just went through the different versions
Variations.
variations and versions
Versions.
and picked the ones that we liked the best.
Yep. So we thought those matched the closest to the colors that Kimberbell put out. And knowing that I have tons of thread, but not all of those colors, instead of putting it as a you must buy all 10 colors, we set it up that you can just purchase the colors that you're missing.
Yep.
But you can still get the discount. So you do not have to buy all of them. And it is the same discount off of either brand.
Yep.
So
59 cents.
59 cents off of either spool. So now I definitely
Have
need
to
to
trim.
definitely need to trim those.
Yes.
Watched Rain Man not that long ago. I do generally look at this as trying to tackle like one color. You know, I don't try to pick up all of the folds at the same time.
Yep. It's really hard. I think you get a much cleaner cut this way too than trying to go from the bottom where you have like the seam and between the two and gets icky.
Yep, agreed. And you can see sometimes I'll get a little more, you know, as I go, I'm getting a little bit more of the color above. But for the most part, I find that this is definitely the smoothest route and gets me the closest. Layer right there just doesn't. That a candle wick?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we have the candle wicking stitch that goes around the outside edge to cover all of those pieces. These are really, really cute. I think they're cuter in person than they were. I did think the Bella Box designs were super cute this time. Not that they're not always cute, but I definitely thought the projects were cute.
I agree. This is even cute with upside down fabric.
Right? Yeah, you can't even tell.
Nope, it just looks like it's lighter. For some reason, that one layer right there, just on either side, it wants to hang out. All right. Get rid of all my fuzz so that there's no extras in our stitch line. Clean up anything that you missed.
So we have the 20-inch by 10 yard.
That's pretty good. All right, so we've got our decorative stitching in actually the green layers there, and then trimmed off the edge. And now we're going to do a decorative stitch around that trimmed edge. Here we go.
Cute, cute, cute. Candle wicking goes pretty quick. It's much quicker than a satin stitch.
For sure. I'll clean up my mess while it's doing that. That was certainly throwing some fabrics around.
Oh, Rebecca. Yep, almost done with this. We just have a little bit more stitching to go, and then um, we have the star to do still. Good morning.
Almost there.
Yep.
There's something down there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that's just a spot for me to type.
Gotcha.
Well, that camera is not great today.
No. It's also, the stitching is really close
Close
to
to
the
that,
arm, which
yeah.
hides, unfortunately, a lot of it. It'd be great if we had a camera like right there coming in this way, but then it would be like my boobs too, which would be bad. Almost done with the first one. And we'll swing around the second one. Then we're going to switch to the star. And then we have our back to add, and that's about it.
Yep.
Is
Yeah.
there a thing we're supposed to add in for nope, you just put it in after the fact.
Yeah.
I was just checking.
Yeah, they have you like just open a
Just
hole
a
with
little
the seam ripper.
slot.
Yeah.
And then bum, 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 bum. This is cute. Needs to be on a really good spring so you can flick it and have it bounce.
Be like a wobbly head.
And then it could be
A
like
bobble.
a stress tree. Bing! And it would bounce.
We'd wear that out pretty quick, wouldn't we?
But you could replace the spring because there's that little spot that you just put a new one in. No?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I knocked my aggressive,
I think we could probably use
yeah,
the same one.
you knocked down a glitter piece, so
Did I? I did.
unfortunately, yours won't stick to the bottom of your shoe like mine.
Well, that.
I got lucky.
Cute, cute, cute.
Rounded third.
Yep.
Ugh. No, I really liked this box. I mean, I'm a Christmas fan, so I mean, I enjoy Christmas decor, but I thought this was very cute. All right, so once we have the decorative, we're going to change to our gold thread. So again, we chose to stitch with the same green for all of the tree. We were using Floriani's PF2016. We're now going to change to Floriani PF561, which is a nice gold. And it's going to be the placement line for the star.
It's a really pretty gold.
And this is glitter. Fuzzies in there. Got some fuzzies going on. All right, placement line for our star. Number 1. we are going to completely cover those up with our square of glitter and then tack that in place. There is a decorative stitch around the outside edge of this. It's another candle wick, it looks like. So we've pretty much stopped
Cutting.
cutting. So we're just going to pull towards each of those points. And that will remove that excess there. I can do this one over here because I'm going to iron them anyways. So
Carol is asking, is there a PF2016 or is that a mistake? She doesn't see that on her thread chart. Pretty sure that's an actual color that we have.
I thought I double checked them, so I think so. I can triple check it. So again, no scissors, just pulling towards.
Oh shoot, just pulling towards. I was reading Carol's comment and I didn't switch over.
All right, so when you are trimming, you're just going to pull towards your stitches, and that double tack down there will give you a nice edge to just tear those at. And then I'm just going to cover that because of course you never want your iron directly on your glitter. And I'm just going to press that in place. And once that is done, it's going to stick really, really well to your felt. Can peel away. These are the original pieces. We just hang on to them because they work really well to cover that up and protect your iron against. And now we're going to do the decorative stitches around that glitter.
We can check that color 2016. We can show her what it is.
I gave her my, what's 2016?
Yep, it's definitely 2016. And it's that's the dark green that we were
That's
using.
the one I just used.
Yep.
So you may have, you've had Floriani a long time. They did discontinue some colors and add in colors. So it's possible you have one of their, I don't know about original thread charts, but the previous version thread chart to what we have now. So it's possible that that is, there were, I don't remember how many, 30, 50, 60, some odd colors they swapped. I think it was 30 that they swapped a few years ago.
And then the next two are probably is it the placement and the
We're
tack
going
down?
to tack down. We're just going to tack to the back.
Yep.
Oh, same stitch twice.
Yeah.
That's why there's two.
Yeah, we shouldn't need a placement, right? Because
right, you can already see what's
where to
there.
go.
Great way to start your Friday.
Right.
All right, so once we have our decorative stitching done, we're going to take and work on the back of the hoop. We should have our remaining piece of felt. and we are going to tape that there, covering that. So I like to clean up the back of my hoop before I cover. Otherwise, you sometimes get these that stick out.
Mhm.
And once you cover that up and tack it down, it's really hard to get rid of them. So I highly recommend taking just a minute or two before you cover up the back of your hoop and try to get rid of any of those jumps and things that are kind of out there that might show. So this is going to be the trim line. So basically you need to make sure, I'm not going to worry about anything that's in here because it's obviously not going to be shown, but something that's poking out here possibly could show in my final project. And I don't want that, right?
Right?
We don't want to work all of this time and then have our back ucky.
No, we do not.
So once you have all your pieces, sometimes if I have a lot, I'll take a piece of tape and just gently tap everywhere to get rid of this little section right there. Does not.
Oh, let's see. We have a question here.
Okay.
She says, I am relatively new to embroidery. I have a new SnL Brother 1055X multi-needle. It's my first time seeing or hearing Bella boxes. Do you always have sewing videos going along with the project? Lisa and I have been stitching out Bella Box projects since the second Bella Box.
We missed one.
We didn't, yeah, we didn't do the Christmas one. I think it was family from last year. But if you, after this is done, if you look back at our YouTube channel, you'll see a bunch of the other Bella Box stitch alongs. So Bella boxes are part of the Me Time, which is a subsidiary of Kimberbell, and we're a big Kimberbell dealer here at our shop, so we do a lot of that type of things. If you go to our website, Leabu, Leabu, sewingcenter.com, you will find links to Me Time and Kimberbell, and you can grab a project or two. They have some previous
They do have some previous Bella boxes
available as well. So, yeah. All right, so we have
All
the
right.
back on.
So I have the projects trimmed to my satisfaction. So I'm going to take my next piece, my last piece of felt, and I'm going to tape that in place. Now you're only going to have one. So just for, you can very clearly see what you need to cover. And you can even see that a little bit through the felt. So you know that you're in a good position. You do not want to tape your centers, which, especially when you first get started, it's kind of a gut reaction. You think I'm going to, that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you are taping your corners. It doesn't have to be huge pieces of tape, but you do need to tape the corners. And the reason being is when you slide your hoop into the machine, the corners sometimes fold in just from being rubbed up against the bed of the machine. We've worked really hard on our project. We don't want to ruin it now. This is literally the final step. So having those corners in place is going to prevent that from happening. If you only had your centers, those corners are free to flap around.
And they will.
And they will. Ask me how I know. So.
And be careful you don't push your project
you don't want to push that in. We do have
felt pads.
Felt pads that will help prevent
pads,
that will support the center of your hoop. But be gentle. Don't push too hard. It's okay if you get tape on the edges of your hoop, but it's important that you get those corners. All right. And once you have that, then you can turn that back around, go back to the machine. And in this case, we have a final stitch. This is going to be.
Do we want to go back to the green?
Let's see. Final outline. Let's do this one in white so that it'll blend in with the felt, just in case. I'm not sure where it's going to land.
I think it's going to be in here.
I think it's going to be in between. So
Yeah.
I think we want white.
Yep. Wait. I don't have white.
There was
over
white here. Oh,
Is it over there? Okay. All right. So now we're gonna add just plain old white.
we already lost a thread cap. Do you have the bottom of this
No,
one?
there wasn't one.
There wasn't one. Need that Hugo.
Think it's coming today.
Yeah. All right. So with our white thread in, we're going to stitch our final. I'm sorry.
I'm just hitting the wrong buttons over here. I didn't
Ah,
mean to hit the button,
With
but I hit the button.
that in, we're going to stitch that final tack down, and it's going to just go around the tree, and it's going to attach that back felt in so that we have a completed project. Yep, it looks like it's going to be right around the edge there, so I'm glad that's what we did. Perfect. Using wet cotton swab. Yeah. Trim around the piece tree. Plug the iron. Doesn't get me later, because it probably will, because I'm not smart. That's easy to do. Yep, so that is just hugging the outside of the design. Definitely want to change into that white thread for that, for sure. I have no idea what we're doing, but I'm enjoying it. Jean's yelling at her. That's all I got. Is that what you got?
We're almost done.
That was very fun.
And
Super cute. So this line out here was the first line that we stitched, and that is going to be our trim line. So we can now pop that out of the hoop and do just that. So don't need that guy anymore. And I'm going to cut these in half because that's a lot.
yep, well, we don't have to do both live, so.
And I could take the tape off, but it doesn't really matter. All
'Cause you're
right.
gonna trim right through it.
We're going to trim right through it. If you feel like this is still a lot to manage, you can get rid of the excess stabilizer so that you have, less bulk to hold on to. You're going to trim basically at that line. Again, these are a little bit overkill of scissors, but they will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim, especially because I used green, not white. I'm going to trim just on the inside of that line so that the idea is that we don't have any of that in our final project, but that is giving me the line that I need. And if we do pop a stitch, and you can see we've got a little bit of green right there, not a big deal, because look at that. No, I don't. So it's not a big deal, which sometimes having that darker color can make it easier to see where to cut.
It's a lot easier to see.
A little bit smaller scissors would make these curves a little bit easier, but
Go big or go home, right?
they cut really well. They just
Yeah.
are really big. Come back in there and, yep, I'm missing the bottom to boot, so let's just come back.
The pressure.
Telling you.
Coming down the home stretch.
So all we're going to do is take a little snip right here and insert that wire in the center. And then there is a pre-drilled hole in your wood block, and that will be how you're going to insert that into its final resting place.
All right, that was fun.
So yeah, see, this is, I don't even have to come back in with scissors. It's just coming out.
Yeah.
So there's too much fabric there.
All right, well, thank everybody for joining us for our Bella Box, our first Bella Box stitch along. We'll be doing this next Friday as well.
Yep.
And if anybody has any questions or you're having trouble with your thread, you know where we're at. Pretty easy to find us. You got anything else to add?
I don't.
All right.
So there's our tree. We showed you the little charm earlier. So super fun stitch outs. Nothing complicated today.
Nope.
Lots of fun though. We'll see you next time. Thanks for
Bye.
joining us. Bye.